Okay, so make sure that you're standing hip width apart and your feet are on the same line. Just kind of scan down, see if your big toes are kind of lined up on the same line. Stand up tall. If you feel secure closing your eyes, you can, but make sure you've got something to hold on to in case you don't feel secure. And if you don't want to stand with your eyes closed, just keep your gaze kind of cast down because we're going to use our body sense to see what's going on in our body right now. So the first thing you want to notice is, does your foot feel even on the floor? Or do you feel more weight on the outside of the foot or the inside of the foot? Just notice and remember all of this as we go through it. The next thing I want you to do is scan up your legs. And do you feel like you're clenching your knees, your thighs, your butt cheeks? If you do, try to relax them. And I know I felt mine were clenched. That's how hard your body's having to work just to keep your body upright. Now, what I want you to do is scan back down your legs. And does one foot feel like, even though you know your feet are on the same line, does one foot feel in front of the other or heavier? And now we're going to do one more assessment if you feel up to it. We're going to place our hands on the front of our thighs and we're going to lean over and just hang there and see where your hands um, kind of land. And notice it's just like a hinge forward. See, you don't want, this is not a stretch. You just want to see where those fingers land and then slowly come back up. Remember all that because we're going to assess in the middle and at the end. So what I want you to do now is grab your ball and Betty, do you have your numbers in front of you or?
Yes.
Okay. It's okay if you don't, I'll talk you through them. But put the ball down and bring the opposite foot kind of beside the ball. And we're going to go to position point number 1. And so what you want to do is rock back and forth on that ball.
Hold on, my ball's rolling.
I know. That's the problem with the foot treatment is the ball will tend to get away from you. So
Okay,
just
on one.
yeah, on one, just rock back and forth a few times, finding what's tolerable pressure. And now put about 50% of your weight on it, and we're going to do a crazy little movement. We're going to swing our arms around and our hips. Your joints act like satellites to get that autopilot in tune. That autopilot, and we can stop now. The autopilot is what keeps you balanced and upright without you thinking about it. Now we're going to take a little bit of a step back and press down on position point 1. And now lean back, take the weight off the ball. We're going to the big toe knuckle, number 2, and press. And take the weight back on the back leg. And if you need to hold on, that is fine. Second toe, knuckle, third toe knuckle, fourth toe knuckle, and pinky toe. Now, the next place we're going to go is 3A. And let me turn, you don't have to turn your foot, but I'm going to turn mine. 3A is kind of mid-foot, but on the, see where it is on the outside? You may not be
Yeah.
able to, okay. So that's position point 3A, and then back off. 3B is right at the ball of the foot, right below the big toe. So do
Mhm.
3B. Now let me show you 4. And you don't have to turn your foot. I'm just trying to show you. It's midfoot on the pinky side. So press there, just tolerable, consistent pressure. And then 5 is at the front of the heel. Now, when you get to 5, we're going to do a glide. So we did position point pressing glide. And what you want to do, it's like doing the twist. You glide, you keep the toes down and glide the ball back and forth on number 5. And now that you're doing that, keep gliding and try to move it gently to the back of the heel. So just take that route of gliding all the way to the back of the heel and now glide all the way back to position point number 5. Kind of like doing the twist. And then hold at 5. This is where we shear. And the shear is going to be a little bit more like Elvis. It's kind of shaking. So it's just dragging the skin. You press, no pain, press and drag the skin. And now hold and wait and take a breath. Now, after we do the shear, we have to rinse. And remember, from the hand treatment, we only rinse in one direction. So you want to step back, pull that ball back. Now, this is going to be a little more challenging, but watch me do the first one. I've got it under the ball of my foot. I'm going to press and step. Let me do it sideways for you. I'm going to put it under the ball of my foot, if I can get it there. And I'm going to press through the foot and step. Now, the ball may come out in the back. That's okay. So we're going to just try to do each knuckle to the heel. Pull the ball back, press. Good. And third toe and fourth toe. And whoops, see, I lost my ball. And fifth toe. Now take a couple more passes on the rinsing. It doesn't matter which part of the foot you use. Okay, and if you'll remember, after we rinse, and you probably want to hold on to this, we do friction. It's like we do with the hands, except you do it with the foot. And it's easier to hold on just all over the foot, up at the toes, the arch. And it's taken me a long time to be able to do it fast.
I don't remember doing friction with the hands.
Oh, it was this.
Oh,
This.
okay.
Yeah, that was friction with the hands. So
I just
this
didn't remember doing it as part of our exercise.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Now, remember, friction is very light. There's no compression. It's just over the, okay. Now that we've done that, line those feet up like you did at the beginning and glance down. I mean, just keep your eyesight down instead of closing your eyes. How do your feet feel on the floor? Do they feel the same or one feels different? And there's no right or wrong. Scan up your legs. Do your legs feel segmented or like one continuous line? Like right now for me, I can feel my knee and my hip on my left because I worked my right, and my right one feels seamless. But that may or may not be the case.
Yeah, I think so. I started with my left, and it feels more seamless than the right.
Yes, yes. See, that's what I feel. It's where before I could definitely tell you where my knee was and my hip and my ankle. My right one feels seamless. Okay, now scan back down the legs, and do they feel on the same line? And they may not, because we've only done one leg. Now, this is the interesting thing. Put your hands back on the front of your thighs and lean over like we did at the beginning. And my right arm goes further than my left. And
And the
roll.
opposite for me.
But you did your left leg, right?
Right, right.
Okay, so isn't that interesting that just by doing your feet, you've gotten more flexibility in your hamstrings?
Yes, and I have a problem with tight hamstrings.
I do too. I do too. And so the
And I get muscle spasms in them.
yes, the ball treatment will help. I don't know with the spasms, but it will help with flexibility.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we've done one foot, now it's time to do the other. So whichever foot, it doesn't matter, but put it at position point one, and your feet are side by side again, and just gently rock back and forth, trying to find out what is tolerable pressure. So just swaying kind of back and forth till you find how much pressure should you apply for it to be tolerable. Now wait and hold right there at one and step back uh, with a little bit with the other foot because we're going to be transferring our weight from the back leg to the front leg. So position point one, we press on it, come back. Position point two is the big toe knuckle, press. All the twos are the knuckles of the foot. Second toe, transferring that weight. Third toe, and you may notice when you get to like the fourth and fifth toe, you have to move the ball back slightly because that, and go to the pinky, that ball, your foot kind of curves.
Mhm.
Now, one thing to notice too, when you do the twos, if you don't see that knuckle pop up, then that shows that it's dehydrated there. Okay, let's go to 3A, which remember was right kind of midfoot, but back behind one and on the side of the foot. So 3A, lean into it slightly. 3B is right there at the ball of the foot behind the big toe knuckle. And then 4 is the midfoot on the pinky side. 4 and 5 is front of the heel. Now come back, and now that we find, your compression on 5 for us to glide, and it should be, doesn't have to be hard, just consistent. So glide. Let me step up a little bit. Um, Remember, it's like doing the twist. You don't want to twist just your knee. You want the whole leg to twist. And then glide the ball all the way back to the heel. And then back across the heel to position point 5. And when we're pressing on 5, we're going to do that shear, that pinning motion, like Elvis, shaking, dragging the skin, dragging that skin across. Now press and hold. This is getting that fluid out. Take a breath. And then we're going to rinse. So step back, pull that ball back, and we're going to compress on the bottom of the foot and transfer the weight. And we only rinse in one direction. So press and then lightly pull it back. And press and lightly pull it back. And press and lightly pull it back. Press. Do 2 more. Doesn't matter where you start. And remember, after rinsing, we do friction, and that's where we move that foot fast, no compression, just light brushing on the foot. Again, like the hand treatment, if you can only do one thing a day, friction on the feet. Okay, we want to go back and forth a couple of times. So go back to the first foot for friction. And then change feet. This rascally ball gets moving around.
Yeah.
And then we'll do one more. And last one. Okay, and let the ball just go. Back to our body scan, and I want you to, line those toes up again. Don't close your eyes if you have balance problem, just look down and think about how your feet feel on the floor. If they felt different before internal or external rotation, notice how they feel now. As we scan up the legs, do the legs feel seamless, or does one leg still feel segmented? Or maybe both legs feel segmented. No right, no wrong. Just notice what you're feeling. And as you scan back down the legs, do the legs now feel like they're in line together and one leg's not in front of the other? So notice that. And now hands down. And we're going to lean forward one more time. And how did that affect your flexibility? And then roll back up gently when you're ready.